Matt, welcome back to the program here.
Good to be here.
We're going into 2026. Republicans already have people lined up to run for these, two statewide seats that we know are open for the U.S. Senate race as well, too. Are Democrats going to play in these races, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Seriously play in these races?
No question about it. We will have strong candidates running in every major race. I mean, we have a bench. We have a team. The real challenge for Democrats is, can we put together their uniforms and their equipment and their training staff? We need to put the resources together to back good candidates. I mean, people like Colin Allred, people like Senator Nathan Johnson here in Dallas. I could certainly see one or both of them running for the U.S. Senate. And then statewide, you've got Roland Gutierrez would get all in Greg Abbott's grill and give him all the trouble he could take. And we've got other people looking statewide. I mean, Justin Nelson ran in 2018, almost beat Ken Paxton, actually ran a better campaign, in my view, than Beto O'Rourke did. Justin could run for any one of those statewide races.
And we've seen that Roland Gutierrez isn't afraid to show his teeth and go after somebody, which some Democrats don't always do. Do you think Nathan Johnson's going to get into this race?
I think he could. I think he's looking at it. I think if he does, he'll be a serious candidate, and he certainly would have the ability to beat Ken Paxton, who I think will be the Republican nominee, because I think John Cornyn is a dead senator walking.
You think so?
Absolutely. I think that it's really pathetic what he's doing. I mean, he can't put on his MAGA fangs now and pretend he always wore them. That he's surrendering every shred of dignity he ever had. People know that he is kind of a throwback to the George W. Bush or the Kay Bailey Hutchison type Republican. Well, that doesn't exist anymore in Texas. There's no Texas Republican Party. There's a Trump National Party. And just the notion of a Texas Republican Party is nostalgia.
Democrats are counting on Ken Paxton being the nominee. That's why there's so much chatter, I guess, about, hey, I might run for this. I might run for the Senate as well, too. What if he's not the nominee, though? I mean, Cornyn's been a strong candidate in the past.
Well, Cornyn's now demonstrating how weak he is, that he is collapsing to every principle that he used to stand for.
He's leaning into Trump a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, surrendering any shred of dignity. I think that when he leaves, he'll leave as a sad figure in Texas history, and it wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't even file for this race. Because if Trump ends up endorsing Paxton, then there's no sense in him running. I think the only way Cornyn would have a prayer would be if somehow Trump endorsed him. Don't see that happening.
Let's talk about Roland Gutierrez, Colin Allred. I've even heard Beto O'Rourke possibly. These are all people who might run for U.S. Senate. You mentioned Nathan Johnson. What kind of challenges will these guys face, though? Because at least three of them, O'Rourke, Roland Gutierrez, and Colin Allred, have run before unsuccessfully.
Well, the big challenge for any Democrat, and make no mistake, any Democrat running statewide in Texas, it's an uphill battle. You go into the race with less than 50-50 chance to win, but we do have strong candidates. All of them are in that category. It's really about resources, having the money to run a full-blown campaign, because it's not just a matter of how much does one candidate raise and how much does the other candidate raise, how much money is spent on the outside. There is so much Republican money that comes into Texas now. It's billionaire money. It's why you see Greg Abbott didn't give a flip about vouchers until billionaires started giving him $1 million contributions. I mean, the votes that count among Republicans is if you have to show up with a 1 with 9 zeros after it, making you a billionaire, then your vote counts with them.
But Allred and Beto had the money to run these full-blown campaigns.
Actually, they were outspent in both cases, and they
were really competitive, though.
But just being competitive is not enough. You've got to run enough to win. And I think we have learned in Texas, and I think they've learned too, that in Texas, if you're a Democrat, you have to run from the middle out. You can't build a majority from the left back to the center. If you're a Republican, you can win going from the most extreme Republican and then trying to chip away and get some disillusioned other people who don't trust Democrats. What Republicans have done just in the last few years, and particularly in the last few weeks with Trump making a mess in Washington, you've got a whole bunch of people that have defaulted to Republicans that may become available to us. We have to be able to reach out to them and be willing to ask for and accept their votes.
Can Texas Democrats run from the middle out?
I believe they can. I think that a lot of it is not just messaging, but it's also organization. It's also making sure that you've got your third parties and your other people that support you getting onto the same message. It doesn't mean that you don't talk to our base and turn out our base. I mean, the truth of the matter is that our base message is a good message to the middle. It's just a matter of being willing to go out and talk to those people in the middle.
Let me ask you about our 2 statewide seats that are also on the ballot. Texas Attorney General is opening up for the first time in more than a decade. State Comptroller as well. Do you expect the party's going to be able to field competitive candidates for these
Certainly in the
seats?
Attorney General race. I think probably in the Comptroller race too. I know that Joe Jaworski is absolutely qualified.
Former Galveston mayor.
Yeah, former Galveston mayor, absolutely capable of running and serving as an excellent Attorney General, especially given the disasters we've had. I mean, the last 2 Attorney Generals, Ken Paxton and Greg Abbott, used that as a political office and never once really went to work as the attorney for Texas, for the Texas public. I think Joe Jaworski would be an attorney for Texans, and we need that. I think that that's a really important race that we should pay a lot of attention to.
Do you think others will get in the race?
I'd expect that they will. It's an open seat. We don't have statewide seats that are open in Texas very often. There's a lot of chatter among people right now, and I think that you'll see more than one person run there.
What are Democrats talking about right now? Because we're all watching the headlines of Republicans getting into these different races. What are Democrats saying, like on your text message threads?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. First of all, there's outrage at what's happening with Republican leadership. It is showing itself it's failed. Again, we've got a situation in Texas where vouchers are being crammed down Texans' throats. Texans don't want it. That's why Greg Abbott is scared to death to put it to a vote. Of all Texans, he knows that it would lose. Instead, he's doing the bidding of billionaires, and in Washington, the work of billionaires is taking place. I mean, Elon Musk is calling the shots. We're seeing cuts, all the things that Trump said wouldn't happen. Prices going up. Former Vice President Pence called the largest tax increase in peacetime history with the Trump tariffs. And then, of course, you've got cuts in Veterans Affairs, cuts in Social Security, all the things that really hurt the fabric of our country. That's what Democrats are talking about, and we're saying that we can't afford to indulge ourselves in just what feels good. We've got to do the hard work that it takes to re-win the trust of American people broadly and Texans in particularly.
Matt, you and I have known each other a long time. I've heard these talking points a lot, though, in the past, though. What's different this time? Or is anything different, do you think?
Well, I think there's 2 things that are different. We'll see. Again, I think that the thing that frustrates me sometimes about our fellow Democrats is we make it sound like, oh, we got this, that it's easy. It's really, really hard for a Democrat to win in Texas or anybody who's not in power. Texas is the hardest game of King of the Hill in the country. You can be at the top and you can be outnumbered by the people around, but if they all don't get together and run at the same time, you can push them back one at a time. Democrats, too often, we run at that hill one at a time. We need to get together, charge it together. I think there is a sense that there is a lot at stake, and also just the overreaching of Republicans. Here's an example. In Tarrant County, you've got a Republican county judge who barely won 4 years ago, who is now moving to redraw the commissioners' districts in order to racially gerrymander one of those districts to artificially create a 3rd Republican seat. That's a step beyond normal politics. That's extremism. That's power, abusing power in order to get things done that the public don't want. I think that's happening locally among Republicans, statewide among Republicans, and nationally among Republicans.
What's your confidence level going into 26, though?
I'm always confident. You can't be a Texas Democrat and not be confident and feel like better times are ahead. But what I do like is that a lot of just everyday people who haven't really trusted Democrats now know that the real problem is 30 years of Republican control. If there's something broken in Texas, the Republicans broke it.
School vouchers, do they pass today?
Probably, but it's still a long way to go. They've got to work out differences with the Senate. And it's a good example of how Texas Republicans don't really exist as Texas Republicans. They're only getting it across because I think that even Donald Trump has been called in by Abbott to back him up in order to break arms, in order to pass a voucher bill that Texans don't want. They're cramming vouchers down Texans' throat, and they'll pay a political price for that.
Can Democrats get any amendments on to Senate Bill 2, do you think, to dilute it at all or get accountability in their income requirements, anything like that? Do you think they'll have any success at
I
that?
thought so going into this, but I don't think so now. Because
don't think so?
Because the Republicans, they don't want any compromises. They don't want to knock the corners off this really sharp-edged sword that they've got. They want to cram it down Texans' throats. I think that what Democrats will do is convince or force a lot of Republicans to take some really bad votes.
Matt, always good to see you, man.
Good to see you.